Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's signing day press conference. Just in a moment, we're going to bring up head coach Brent Thompson, who's going to speak on the 13-member class that had signed today. This goes along with the 14 members that we signed back in December. So here to talk about today's signing class is your head coach, Brent Thompson.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank the staff. We had a little bit of a split staff as we've had some guys coming and going over the last couple of months. So I want to thank the old staff as well as the new staff for all that they did for this signing class, which is not easy. I also want to thank our faculty. We had a lot of great faculty members turn out for us and help us out. Our administration did a great job for us of facilitating both the transition of staffs as well as the just getting our young men here and getting them to campus and getting them signed. I also want to thank our families for allowing us the opportunity to go out on the road and spend many nights on the road, as well as entertaining our guests when they do come on campus. So I want to thank all those people. This is a large overall class. We have about 27 people on this list from the two signing dates. This is a good staff. A good group of guys that's going to add depth to both offense and defense, but predominantly the defensive side. What we set out with the second signing period was to help with our defensive side with the new scheme that was going in. We had kind of been leaning this direction with the old scheme with Coach Harrell, but now with Coach Grantham we have decided to go with a little bit more of a linebacker system. So we recruited quite a few linebackers and also body types that will lend themselves to being inside guys, outside guys, as well as possibly defensive line guys as well. So you'll see a lot of different variety on this list. We've got some local guys on this list. We've got a couple from the Orangeburg area. We've got two from the local area, which we're very excited about. One from First Baptist as well as one from Johns Island on the previous signing class. So we're excited about that. We've also got players from the states of Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, as well as Virginia. So we really broadened it out with our second signing class, which was the intent of that class was to kind of broaden out and figure out what positions we needed to recruit and move on with those. First one on the list is Hassan Black. Hassan played on a state championship team this year. Both of his brothers played at the FBS level. Hassan played on a 15-0 team this year. He is a hybrid inside-outside linebacker that we could possibly move anywhere that we want between those two positions. He is a big, runs fairly well, defensive player for us that I think is going to be a good position. We're going to grow him into whatever it is that he can play, whether it's inside or outside in our new defense. He is a 6'2", 225 from the Cincinnati area of Ohio. After him is another very similar body type, more of an outside linebacker for us, Anthony Britton. I had the pleasure of going to Anthony's high school in Georgia this past recruiting season here. And when I sat down with this young man, I thought he would be a great fit here. He is long, lean, athletic, plays basketball, was a tremendous player there at Eagles Landing out down there in Henry County. Ben Brockington, offensive lineman. We had this young man at camp in June. He's been to our campus quite a few times. Local guy out of Orangeburg Wilkinson High School, 6'1", 278. We're going to start him off on the offensive line at the offensive tackle spot. He's got tremendous ability. He actually came to camp as a defensive lineman, had great explosion off the football, powerful guy, and I think could really grow into a starter on the offensive line here in the next year or two with a little bit of development. Bud Cheney played for his dad in Cape Coral, Florida at Lehigh High School. He is a 5'9", 185. We originally recruited him as a cornerback last year, played mostly his junior year as a corner. Most of his senior year he played as a running back. We are going to probably end up playing him somewhere between the corner and the running back spot. We're going to figure it out when he gets here. The way it looks right now, the way that the class is shaped up, he probably will start off on the offensive side and give us a little bit of quickness and speed at our A-back position. Hakeem Hulk Elmore, 5'10", 265. He plays a little bit of running back on film as a junior. We're going to predominantly start him on the defensive line at the nose guard position. He is also a tremendous heavyweight wrestler. Currently, right now, he is in the regional finals, and he will be going on to the States, I believe. Jay Gardner is a defensive back from Spartanburg, South Carolina. A little bit longer, leaner, kind guy that can play both safety and corner. We will probably start him off at the cornerback position. Played up there at Spartanburg High School, was a guy that Coach Grantham had been recruiting. Really liked what he could do on film. Liked the fact that he's a little bit longer, can run, has a good ability to be able to track the football and make some interceptions. Dewey Green. Dewey's been with us for a while. We had recruited Dewey since about June. We had him at camp. Had a great time with he and his family. Came down with his dad and his mom 2 weeks ago. Another Columbia guy for us, defensive lineman. Tremendous guy. He's going to play the defensive end spot for us this year. Has been outstanding on film. I think this is a really, really good prospect for us, a good spot for us. I think he's a young man that can come in and help us out right away on the defensive line. Nehemiah McIntosh, once again, a little bit longer, 5'10", 170 corner out of Westlake High School in Georgia. And another guy that plays both sides of the ball, can also play a little bit of baseball. Tremendous physical, run-stopping defensive back. Evan Schickel, quarterback, 6'1", 185 from Fredericksburg, Virginia. We've got a long-standing history with Massaponax High School, and their head football coach has been down here quite a few times to clinic with us. They are a triple option team. Evan came down, did a great job for us at camp, really enjoyed him. He and his dad had come down and visited us for the Charleston Southern game, gotten to know him, gotten to know the family. I think being that he's very familiar with the triple option, I think he's a lot along the lines of a Brandon Rainey with a little bit more probably triple option knowledge coming into college. Torian Spencer, 5'11", 172, out of Langston Hughes, another physical defensive back for us, another position that we really needed to hit a home run at, and I think we did. Young man's got great film and does a great job. He's got great transition. I think he's got good hips. He's got the ability to make a lot of big plays for us in a position where I think in about another year or so we're going to have a couple more guys step up. Sidney Starr, defensive lineman, another guy that we had at football camp this past June. He is from the state of Tennessee. Had a great career there in Brentwood, a guy that we've kept track with. Orlando Mitchens did a good job of recruiting him, had his family down about 2 weeks ago. Really enjoyed getting to know them. A guy that will come in and play the defensive end spot. We're probably going to have to grow him and develop him into a defensive end a little bit more, but a guy that we can start there. Great explosion off the football, can shed tacklers, shed blockers, and make plays. Cooper Wallace. Cooper comes out of Florence, out of South Florence High School, West Florence High School. He is a dual threat quarterback. He does not only is can throw it, but he also can run it. What I really liked about Cooper on film was he is another physical running back style quarterback. He's going to get you yards when there's no yards to be had in there. He's going to fit into the system very well. We're just going to have to teach him the nuances of the triple option. But a guy that I really wanted to get into this class because I think he can do a lot of different things for us. Maybe not at quarterback, but at other positions as well. But certainly we'll start off at quarterback and see what we can do. Thomas Wyatt, we recruited him as an athlete, played predominantly wide receiver and linebacker out of McKeesport in Pennsylvania. Tremendous athlete. He's playing basketball right now. He's a little bit leaner. He's about 195 to 200 right now. We're going to see where he grows into. We could possibly play him on either side of the ball, may start him off on the defensive side. But a physical player on both sides of the football, knows what it is to play wide receiver in the triple option offense, as well as outside linebacker in a 3-4 style of a defense. Makes a lot of plays on film. Excited to get a young man back from the Pittsburgh area, an area that we had been recruiting for the last few years but hadn't been able to yield anybody from. The last guy I want to mention is Jackson Watson, a local guy from First Baptist High School, free safety, 6 foot, 195. It's got a long history of Citadel family, and I think he's going to be a good player for us here. We're going to start him off at the safety position and see where he grows into, but a good physical player, a young man that we had on campus a few times. One was for our camp back in June, and really enjoyed getting to know him and his family at those camps. Questions?
What were the circumstances that sort of led to such a large class?
Well, you know, we had planned to take about 9 or 10, and then what ends up happening is 9 or 10 becomes 11, 12, or 13 when you start to divide them up. What we really wanted to do was improve our depth, and when I set out into recruiting last year, I wanted to kind of use what we have as an advantage, and one of the things that we do have as an advantage is being an in-state school. And I wanted to do the best that we possibly could in state, and I think we accomplished that goal. We had a lot of players here that were at our camp, as I mentioned, but we also had a lot of players here that are from the state of South Carolina that understand what it is to come to the Citadel and want to come to the Citadel, and those are the guys that I went after the hardest. I want guys that want to be here, and every single one of them that I told, the main reason why you come to school here is for the degree, all right? Beyond that is we're going to win a lot of football games here, and you're going to get a lot of life skills that you're going to need. But the number one thing is the one thing that you'll stay for is the degree. And I think that's how that ended up happening. We got more in-state kids. We divided a little bit more scholarships up, and we ended up with a larger class. And I'm excited to at least have some options and have some versatility in this class.
Can you talk about bringing in 2 quarterbacks in this class?
Both of these guys are a lot along the same lines as we've got Ryan McCarthy as well as Brandon Rainey. I set out to get 2 of those kind of guys this year. I really was definitely going to sign one. And then as Cooper came available, I wanted to get this guy in my class as well because we had him here as him and Schickel came to the same camp, and I really couldn't decipher between the 2 of them other than the fact that Evan was a triple option quarterback. But if you look at what Cooper had done, Cooper had taken a team that was probably I wouldn't say not a great football team, but a team that really wouldn't be as far as they gotten this year probably without him. And for those things, that's why I wanted Cooper to come here. He's a leader. He's a guy that doesn't say a whole lot, but he says a lot on the football field. And when you watch his film, you see him running over defenses and doing a good job. And everything that Coach Jenrette told us about him, I think is going to show here at the Citadel.
What was sort of the process of recruiting while your staff was undergoing changes? Were a lot of these guys on your board already? Or?
Most were. We were very fortunate that Coach Grantham had recruited the Spartanburg, Columbia, and Charlotte areas. So he fit into an area that was vacant for us. So he had crossed over with a lot of these guys when he was at the Naval Academy. So that was a fairly seamless transition for us. But really, we had signed all the guys in state just about that we needed to sign in our early signing period. That certainly helped out. The other thing that I think helped us out was we had done a lot of summer evaluation. We had gone out to camps. We had a lot of people come up onto camps. The way that you end up landing guys from Ohio and Pittsburgh is simply by getting there, working camps and working those through the summertime, and that's what we did. So we did have a lot of these guys on campus. We did have a lot of these guys that had known the staff before, and really all we had to do was just kind of pick up where we left off with some of those other guys that had transitioned out of the Citadel.
Coach, how much did it help having such a strong finish to the season this year? Obviously the team kind of found itself midway through the year and really closed out the season strong. Did that help at all in recruiting down the stretch?
Not only does it help, it helps with a lot of things. Not only does it help with the morale of the staff, but more importantly, the morale of the players. When they came back and they were hosting prospects here, that's where that plays off for us. Is they feel really good about where the program's going, and you can host them with guys that are bought into everything that we're trying to get done here at this point. These are all guys that I have recruited here at this point. This is the 4th year here. So I think that goes a long way with everything that I've been trying to preach and teach around here, and that is get on my page here. And if you do, I think we've got a pretty good chance to win a lot of football games.
You mentioned that it's more of a linebacker scheme on defense. Does that mean a 3-4? Or?
We will be a 3-4 structure, and we will take those outside guys and stand them up more often than we had in the past. It's going to allow us the ability to recruit more longer, leaner, athletic bodies. That will help us in both not only the offensive side but the defensive side of being able to find guys that are going to be able to maybe grow into certain positions, whether they're inside or outside guys. And Coach Grantham, that was the theory. That was what he really sold me on, was he was going to take body types and put them where they belonged and use a lot of personnel. And when he came and interviewed here, he said that he wanted to take guys that were good at certain things and use them. And that's essentially what you have to do here at the Citadel, is you've got to be able to take everything that you've got and maximize it. And you've got to maximize every bit of personnel that you have here, whether it's through personnel or scheme. I think that's what we're going to have to do from here on out, and I really like the way that we're going.
So this spring, which starts tomorrow, it's going to be huge for the defense. New coaches, new schemes.
It's going to be all defensive oriented this year, and offensively we are bringing back most of the offense. We've got a pretty good idea of what's going on the offensive side. There's a few things that we need to work on. There's a few guys that we need to develop on the offensive side and figure out where they need to go. But really, the defensive side is going to be where the focus is at. I want to make sure that Coach Grantham is given every single opportunity to give that defense a chance to be successful, because we will be young over there. We will transition a lot of guys in different spots. But I think the simpler the better will be over there.